Hello, welcome to India Business Hour. I'm Parikshit Luthra. Here are the headlines we are tracking this evening. Stocks in China mark the best single-day rally in 16 years as more stimulus measures lift sentiment. Veteran investor Mark Mobius says this probably is the start of a bull run in China. A sharp sell-off on Dalal Street as Sensex and Nifty record the biggest single-day fall in 2 months. 40 out of 50 Nifty stocks decline. Auto and metal stocks hit the hardest. Israel's defense minister hints at a ground invasion of Lebanon as it ramps up the airstrikes. Hezbollah will continue to fight even after the death of its leader Hassan Nasrallah, says the group's deputy leader, accuses Israel of targeting civilians in Lebanon. PV Fintech Management clarifies on their proposed healthcare foray. Group CEO Yashish Dahiya tells CNBC TV 18 that they may look at a one-time investment of $100 million for a minority stake of 20 to 30% in a new company. Adds that they have no intention to make a recurring investment in the company. Anil Kumar Gupta, the Director General of GST Intelligence, says Infosys is yet to reply to the pre-show cause notice on alleged evasion, says the agency's actions are as per law. Gupta says that the general insurance companies owe about 20,000 crore rupees in GST for services extended to employees within special economic zone units. Calls off show gaming websites a cause of concern. Ola Electric's market share dips further as Bajaj Auto and TVS increase EV sales. Ola's market share down to 27.6% in September from 31% in August. Bajaj Auto's market share is over 21% as it closes the gap for the top spot. Tata Electronics suspends manufacturing indefinitely as its component plant, iPhone component plant in Tamil Nadu, catches fire on Friday. The company is probing the cause of the incident. After months of mudslinging, BharatPe management buries the hatchet with former MD Ashneer Grover and signs an out-of-court settlement. Decides to withdraw all cases against Grover and his wife. The settlement comes 10 days after Grover's brother-in-law was arrested by the police. Supreme Court issues a contempt notice against Assam government for allegedly violating the court's order on halting bulldozer demolitions. Apex Court also pulls up the Andhra Pradesh government for making public statements on the alleged adulteration of laddus at the Tirupati temple when an investigation is still underway. Veteran actor Mithun Chakraborty to be honoured with prestigious Dadasaheb Phalke Award, India's highest cinema honour. A Padma Bhushan recipient and a two-time National Award winner, Mithun made his debut in the year 1976 with Mrinal Sen's Brigaya. He has appeared in over 350 movies across several languages. Let's start with the market action. A sharp sell-off on Dalal Street with the Sensex and the Nifty recording their worst single-day fall in 2 months. Sensex lost over 1,200 points, falling well below the 85,000 mark. The Nifty lost over 350 points, dropping below 26,000. The sell-off was broad-based among the blue chips, but mid-caps fared slightly better, with the index ending lower by less than 0.5%. Chinese stocks recorded their best single-day rally in 16 years after the country announced more stimulus measures amid an economic downturn on Sunday. China's central bank announced a cut in lower mortgage rates for existing home loans by the end of October, providing support to the country's crisis-hit property market. Meanwhile, major cities like Guangzhou, Shanghai and Shenzhen unveiled measures to ease curbs on home purchases, boosting home buyer sentiment and pushing property stocks even higher. Have the steps taken by China, are they really enough to stimulate the economy? What would it mean for India and other emerging markets? Prashant Nair is here with a deep dive on the China stimulus and its implications.
Well, thanks very much for that. 2 years now, it's been a slow and reluctant sort of easing which China has done, right? Last week's easing measures announced by the central bank in China and the surprise economy-focused September Politburo meeting seem to break away from the previous piecemeal style of policy easing and provide a sizable dose of policy stimulus that the market has long been hoping for. Markets have responded in a big way. From their recent lows, the Shanghai index is up 23%. The Hang Seng listed Chinese company index is up 26%. And the property index, the Shanghai property index, is up 36%. Remember, problems are in the property market, and that has seen a 36% rebound. Now, let's quickly run you through what China has done, right? It started with the central bank, that is PBOC, easing announcements on Tuesday, that is last Tuesday, 24th of September. Investors were not convinced. Markets wanted fiscal, not monetary. We had lots of monetary announcements, but they wanted fiscal. Guess what? The surprise Politburo meeting, the first Politburo meeting in the month of September in the last 5 years, by the way. That's how surprising it was. That was on the 26th of September, chaired by President Xi. And its read-through was that they were ready to do whatever was necessary, fiscal included, to support the economy. This is when investors started to come around. And at this point, in international media also started reporting that a fiscal package to the tune of between 2 and 3 trillion renminbi could be in the offing. Remember, there's nothing official yet on the size of this package, nothing confirmed yet. And then as we came back in on this Monday, we learned that on Sunday, that is over the weekend, we've seen more measures. Most significantly, 3 out of the 4 top-tier mega cities in China allowing big relaxations in terms of property purchases, lower cut in down payments and lower mortgage rates, and sort of basically easing of rules. Well, the question is, what from here? From a stock market standpoint, there are still skeptics. There are some who are turning a little more believing. That is because we've had 2 mega rallies in Chinese stocks since 2020 COVID period, which looked very big, right? To the tune of 50, 40%, but they eventually faded. This move so far is 26% from the lows. So the question becomes, does this have more legs? Looking at the past rallies, just purely looking at the numbers, there may be more to go, even if it doesn't turn into a big structural turnaround. But, stocks will be wiser in hindsight. What can we expect in terms of things to watch out for? Some important events lined up. Tomorrow is China's National Day, and President Xi normally delivers a speech to the country. It's not expected to be an economic speech, but this time there's heightened attention whether he'll address the economy as well. Then on the 3rd of October, there's speculation that the Ministry of Finance in China might hold an ad hoc press conference to discuss the fiscal expenditure side as well. So this is the next steps in terms of what markets will watch out for.
Veteran investor Mark Mobius has underlined that it is a new bull market in China, even though the outperformance may cool off in the near term after the big recent rally. Mobius is not alone. Last week, David Tepper, founder of Appaloosa Management, asserted that it was time to buy everything in China.
Just Alibaba? Or are you talking JD, Baidu, PDB, the 2 Chinese ETFs? Everything China.
ETF, I would do futures, right? Everything. Listen, a long time ago, in 2010, I think I said everything.
And you would say everything. I remember when you said everything.
And you know what's good?
You were right.
Everything. Okay. So if they, this is incredible stuff for that place. Okay. So it's everything.
There'll be a correction, but I think we're now probably in a new bull market for China. In the last few days, China has outperformed the Indian market, but I think this is going to be temporary. There'll be a pullback. Nevertheless, it's a very, very positive situation, not only for China, but for all emerging markets. Why? Because, as you know, China represents such a big part of the index, of the emerging markets index. So you've seen China is now up tremendously, and that drags the emerging markets index as well, because India is such a big part of the index. Now, what happens? That helps all emerging markets, including India. Now, the problem facing India, as SEBI has pointed out recently, is derivatives have become too big. There are too many people gambling on derivatives, and that could put a damper on the market. So we have to watch what measures SEBI is going to take in terms of the derivatives. When that happens, you'll probably see a downturn in the market, just temporary downturn, but you'll see some correction in India. Nevertheless, we are now on a long-term bull market for India, and I see sensex the sensex index going up to 100,000.
Policy Bazaar's parent company, PB Fintech, has clarified that it will be a minority investor in the company through which its healthcare foray will happen. Speaking to CNBC TV 18, Group CEO Yashish Dahiya said that PB Fintech may go for a one-time investment of $100 million in the new healthcare company for a 20 to 30% stake, subject to board approval.
PB Fintech is looking to make an investment subject to board approval in a separate venture, which actually is not a PB Fintech subsidiary. PB Fintech would probably be a minority investor between 20 to 35% equity holding, right? And this venture, for lack of a better word, let's just call it XYZ. XYZ has its own life beyond that, and PB Fintech's liability is limited to that first investment. It does not have any compulsion to keep investing into the future, right? And all this is subject to board approval.
Tata Electronics has suspended manufacturing indefinitely at its iPhone component plant in Tamil Nadu after a fire broke out on Friday. The company is probing the cause of the fire. No casualties have been reported. An employee of HCL Tech passed away after suffering a cardiac arrest at the company's Nagpur office. The 40-year-old was found unresponsive in the office washroom. He was then rushed to AIIMS Nagpur, where he was pronounced dead upon arrival. HCL Tech has said that they provided the employee immediate emergency care in the company's clinic and transported him to the hospital. The firm also mentioned it is offering support to the employee's family. Big newsmaker of the day, head of India's GST enforcement body, Anil Kumar Gupta, has said that the decision to provide Infosys relief on its GST demand of 32,000 crore rupees can only be taken by the government. In an exclusive conversation with CNBC TV 18's Timsi Jayapuria, Gupta said that the matter would be examined once the IT giant replies to the pre-show cause notice.
So this demand is pending, and still, because Infosys is to file a reply. Infosys is yet to file a reply for this remaining 4 years. Once they file the reply, only then we will examine, because it's a pre-show cause notice. In the GST law, for issuing a show cause notice, you issue a pre-show cause notice and then give an opportunity to the company or the taxpayer to file a reply. Once the Infosys files the reply, we will examine, then accordingly decide on the matter. Whether our case is strong or not, that I will say we only book cases which are legally sustainable and as per the GST law prevalent at that time. So whatever DGI has done, it is as per law. There is nothing wrong in that. By bringing clarity and transparency in the online gaming taxability since October 2023, the revenue of the government has increased 4 to 5 times. Earlier we were collecting about 200 to 250 crores per month. Now roughly about 1300 to 1500 crores we are collecting. Offshore online gaming, they were, as per the amendment, they were also required, once they are providing any taxable services in India, they were also required to take registration, simple registration in India. But none of the offshore gaming companies have taken registration so far. It's about a year now since this amendment came, and it's a big challenge for us to really investigate all those offshore gaming companies.
Telecom companies have criticized TRAI's recommendations for the new Telecom Act, saying that it fails to advocate for regulatory parity between telcos and OTT players. In a strongly worded statement, the Cellular Operators Association of India expressed concern that the recommendations excluded OTTs from seeking the authorizations required for telcos. The statement also criticized the regulator for not addressing the demand to reduce license fees and abolish the Universal Service Obligation Fund levy. Telecom major Airtel has prepaid more than 8,400 crore rupees to the Telecom department. The company has cleared all dues against the spectrum it had acquired in 2016. The prepayment will reduce the company's debt burden and optimize financial costs. Earlier in June, Airtel prepaid nearly 8,000 crore rupees and cleared all its deferred liabilities related to spectrum purchased in auctions between 2012 and 2015. In the auto space, Ola electric market share has dropped further as Bajaj Auto and TVS increase electric scooter sales. From 31% in August, Ola's market share has fallen to about 27.6% in September. As per vehicle registration data, Ola sales declined to 22,821 units in September compared to August. Meanwhile, Bajaj Auto has achieved a 21.4% market share and closed the gap for the top spot. Ola Electric stock fell below 100 rupees for the first time since its listing. Fintech firm BharatPe has settled a 2-year-long legal dispute with former managing director Ashneer Grover. In a statement, the company has decided to withdraw all cases against Grover and his wife. This settlement has come 10 days after Grover's brother-in-law was arrested by the police. BharatPe said that Ashneer Grover will not have any association with the company. Certain shares held by him will be transferred to the Resilient Growth Trust, the parent company of BharatPe. His remaining shares will be managed by his family trust. Rachna Dhanrajani joins us with the latest.
It all started with BharatPe's parent company Resilient Innovations alleging discrepancies in vendor invoices and claimed that some HR consultancies associated with the company had been set up to siphon off funds. BharatPe had in fact filed a criminal complaint in December 2022 against Ashneer Grover, his wife Madhuri Jain and her family, including her father, brother and brother-in-law. An FIR was also filed by the Economic Offences Wing of Delhi Police in May 2023 for this financial misconduct of about 81 crore rupees. In November 2023, a lookout circular was issued against both Ashneer Grover and Madhuri Jain, preventing them from travelling abroad. And the couple were then stopped at Delhi's Indira Gandhi National Airport last year while attempting to fly to New York due to financial misconduct allegations. Just last month, the Economic Offences Wing of the Delhi Police made its first arrest in the case. Amit Kumar Bhansal, who was arrested for being one of the members of the non-existing firms that had received payments of rupees 72 crore from the then directors of BharatPe between 2019 and 2021. And just 10 days ago, Deepak Gupta, who's Ashneer and Madhuri's brother-in-law, was also arrested. And now both the sides have settled the case. So what happens to BharatPe now? The company's 3 co-founders held a sizable shareholding. Ashneer held over 8%, Shashwat Nakrani held 4.8% and Bhavik Koladia held about 2.3%. Only Shashwat and Bhavik are now with the company's management. Ashneer had accused Bhavik Koladia of data theft. Bhavik had also transferred some shares to Ashneer, for which he claims he never got paid. We've also learned from our sources that as a part of this settlement, those shares will now be transferred back to Bhavik, increasing his stake in the company to over 4%. Coupled with the surrender and return of the shares, Ashneer will now be left with 4% of the company, which will then be transferred to his family trust.
All right, thank you very much, Rachna, for joining us. Let's move on to the Middle East now. Hamas, Hezbollah and now the Houthis. Israel has stepped up its offensive across West Asia, even as US warned that a broader war needs to be averted. Israel ramped up its Lebanon attack over the weekend, striking central Beirut for the first time since 2006. 3 leaders of the PLFP, the second largest faction within the Palestine Liberation Organization, were killed. A senior Hamas leader was killed as well. The death toll in Lebanon alone has crossed 1,000 since the start of the Israeli offensive earlier this month. Israel's defense minister has hinted at a ground invasion of Lebanon. The Israeli Air Force has also targeted a power plant and seaport in Houthi-controlled Yemeni cities. At least 4 people were killed. The raids came a day after Israel intercepted a ballistic missile that Houthis claimed was aimed and timed to coincide with Prime Minister Netanyahu's aircraft landing in Tel Aviv. Militant group Hezbollah has vowed to continue its war against Israel. Despite the death of its leader, Nasrallah, Iran has said that Israel will not go unpunished for the crimes it has committed. As per the United Nations, around 100,000 people had fled Lebanon for Syria since the latest escalation in the war.
Keys are in the hand of the Lebanese state. If they step forward and take control in this gap that Hezbollah has left, they will take responsibility. They will apply their sovereignty on the ground. I think that we will see a de-escalation, a fast de-escalation of the situation.
It has been a pattern as far as Israel is concerned to take out senior leaders of movements that are opposed to them. But that has served only a domestic purpose. It for a moment shows their leadership, particularly Prime Minister Netanyahu, as being a very effective and powerful leader of his country. But the factual position is, and that is borne out by history, that such assassination actually serve very little useful purpose.
And staying with tensions in the Middle East, Israel has continued its attack across the Gaza Strip, killing at least 28 people in the last 24 hours. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has said and vowed that Israel will continue fighting in Gaza until it obtains total victory. According to Hamas-run Palestine Health Ministry, more than 41,500 Palestinians have died and over 96,000 have been wounded since the war began on the 7th of October 2023. From one war-torn region to another, Russia has attacked southeast Ukraine, wounding at least 16 people and damaging railways and infrastructure in the region. Ukraine's military has claimed that Russia also launched several waves of drones targeting Kyiv today, but its air defense successfully deflected the attack. Ukraine has also claimed that it sent more than 100 drones deep inside Russia to hit a major weapons depot in the country. At least 200 have been killed in Nepal in massive floods and landslides caused by heavy rainfall. Search and rescue operation efforts have been ramped up as rainfall continues in the region. Schools and other education institutions have been closed for 3 days. Japan's incoming Prime Minister has said that he will call for snap elections on the 27th of October, more than a year before an election is due. Ishiba is replacing Fumio Kishida as Prime Minister after being elected as the new leader of the ruling Liberal Democratic Party. Experts believe that he wants to go to voters quickly to capitalize on his recent party victory and to give the main opposition, Constitutional Democratic Party, little time to prepare under its new leader, Yoshihiko Noda. Coming up on India Business Hour, Supreme Court issues a contempt notice against Assam government for allegedly violating the court's order on halting bulldozer demolitions. The Apex Court also pulls up Andhra Pradesh government for making public statements on the Tirupati Laddu controversy. Details in a bit. And you can also catch all CNBC TV 18's news and updates on Facebook, X, Threads, Instagram and JioCinema. You're watching India Business Hour. 40 seats will go to polls in the final phase of Jammu and Kashmir Assembly elections tomorrow. Close to 40 lakh voters across 7 districts would be eligible to cast their votes. About 415 candidates are in the fray. Haryana also goes to polls in a single phase this Saturday. Top Congress leaders Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, along with former Chief Minister Bhupinder Singh Hooda, addressed multiple rallies in the state. Rahul accused the BJP of working only for industrialists and compromising the interests of the poor. The Supreme Court has issued a contempt notice against Assam government for allegedly violating the court's order on halting bulldozer demolitions. The Apex Court has also pulled up the Andhra Pradesh government for making public statements on the alleged adulteration of laddus at the Tirupati temple. Ashmit Kumar is here with a wrap on all the proceedings in the Apex Court.
Well, 2 state governments there on the receiving end. One is the state of Assam, the other one the state of Andhra Pradesh. We'll come to them one by one. First, as far as Assam is concerned, bear in mind that the Apex Court has been hearing matters with respect to bulldozer demolitions being used to punish those accused. Now, it is in response to that the Apex Court in the previous hearing had directed for a complete halt on demolitions across the country. That order has been violated, or so is the claim made in a petition made by 47 residents of Assam who pointed out that despite the Apex Court orders, despite the assurance given by the government of Assam that there will be no demolitions, the demolitions have gone ahead in the state. That is something that the Apex Court has taken note of, and number one, has issued a contempt notice to the government of Assam. The government of Assam will have to respond. Bear in mind, this case will get taken up for further hearing tomorrow. Not just that, the other high voltage matter that was up for consideration was the Tirupati Prasadam matter. Here again, the Apex Court took a very dim view of Chandrababu Naidu making public comments with respect to contamination of the Prasadam despite not having the facts available with him. The Supreme Court observed that there is no evidence to suggest that there was contamination by way of animal fat. There was also no evidence to suggest that it was the contaminated ghee that was used for making the Tirupati Prasadam. And minus those facts, the constitutional position holder, like the Chief Minister of the state, making such remarks is not in keeping with the principles, is not consistent, is not something that is desirable and plays with the sentiments of crores and crores of people. So the Apex Court now deciding whether or not the Andhra Pradesh government will need to investigate this, or whether it will be an independent investigation led by the Apex Court. Back to you.
Anil Makhija, Chief Operating Officer of Big Tree Entertainment, the parent company of Book My Show, has appeared before the Mumbai police. This after the authority summoned company CEO Ashish Hemrajani and company technical head for the second time in an investigation into the alleged black market sales of Coldplay concert tickets. And producers of Kangana Ranaut's film Emergency have agreed to make changes suggested by the Central Board of Film Certification. The production company has submitted a format for the implementation of the changes suggested by the CBFC. CBFC will respond to this format, and the next hearing on this matter will take place on Thursday. Emergency was initially supposed to be released on the 6th of September. However, it has been delayed due to non-certification. Veteran actor Mithun Chakrabarti will be honoured with the prestigious Dadasaheb Phalke Award, India's highest honour in the field of cinema. Padma Bhushan recipient and a two-time National Award winner, Mithun made his debut in the year 1976 with Mrinal Sen's Mrigaya. He has since appeared in over 350 movies across several languages.
सच बोलूं कि मेरे पास कोई भाषा ही नहीं है, ना मैं हंस सकता हूं, ना मैं खुशी से रो सकता हूं। इतनी बड़ी चीज़ है कैसे, जहां से मैं आ रहा हूं कोलकाता के, एक ऐसे एक ब्लाइंड लेन से फुटपाथ से लड़के इधर आया हूं, उस लड़के को इतना बड़ा सम्मान मैं सोच भी नहीं सकता, लिटरली मैं बागरूद हो गया।
With that, it's a wrap on this edition of India Business Hour. Thank you for watching. News continues right here on CNBC TV 18.